Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine, and today we have a great elementary level lesson all about having fun.
That's right. Today we are going to have a lot of fun. And, well, before we explain what exactly we're going to do, why don't we take a look at vocabulary preview?
Vocabulary preview.
Okay, so the word we're previewing today is a noun. It's a thing. It's a roller coaster.
All right, a roller coaster. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to get on a roller coaster. But what is a roller coaster?
Well, a roller coaster is something that we see oftentimes in parks, amusement parks, and it's like a little train, but it can go upside down, and it goes very fast, and it turns, and it's supposed to make you scared and happy.
Okay, so it goes very fast, and yeah, many people have probably seen it. It goes very fast, and as you say, up and down, and well, you just get on it because it's fun. You go fast and you get scared because you're going so fast, and sometimes you're going upside down.
Exactly. And for some reason, I don't know why, but in many Romance languages, the name is Russian mountains.
Exactly, yeah. It's also, in Spanish, it's also a Russian mountain.
Yeah.
Montaña rusa.
So I think the reason is because back in the day, 100 years ago when they were starting, the first roller coasters came from Russia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So that's why it's called like
Well, that's a theory. I'm not sure. But take a listen to today's dialogue. We'll hear it one time. And when we come back, we'll be talking about more interesting and exciting phrases and words about roller coasters.
I'm so excited! We're finally here! Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is the best amusement park in the world!
Alright, settle down now. You're gonna give yourself a heart attack.
I can't believe they charge us $35 each. Seems like such a ripoff, don't you think? It's not like I'm gonna get on these things.
Whoa. Viper, that's the world's highest and fastest roller coaster! You go at more than 100 miles per hour. I wanna go on that one. Can I, Mom, please? Can I?
Chris, I'm not sure you should get on that. It seems a bit too much for you, and we've just had breakfast 30 minutes ago. I don't think it's a good idea.
Aw, come on, Mom. I can handle it. I promise I won't ask for anything else. Besides, it's not like I'm gonna throw up or anything.
Let him go, Carol. He'll be fine.
All right! Yeah, this is amazing! See how high up we're going? Whoa!
All right, we're back. So interesting. I think this is very common. You get on one of these things, you go so fast that you just throw up.
Have you ever thrown up?
On a roller coaster? No,
Yeah.
never.
No, me neither. All right. Well, maybe it's not that common, but let's take a look at some of the words that we hear in this conversation between a boy and his parents.
All right, so as we mentioned, this word throw up, to throw up. Why don't we take a look at that one first? Although it's almost at the end of the dialogue. What is it to throw up?
Okay, well, to throw is different than to throw up. So remember that these two words go together to mean to vomit. That means that the things in your stomach come out your mouth.
So like we heard in the dialogue, they came in like, bleh.
Yeah, it's a very disgusting sound,
Yeah.
right? And so sometimes people throw up when they eat too much. Sometimes they throw up when they're sick, and sometimes they throw up after riding a roller coaster. And so this is an important phrase to know.
Or like when you're on a boat, you get seasick and you throw up. Or in
yeah,
the
it's
car,
the worst.
sometimes you get car sick. All right, so as we mentioned, we're also visiting an amusement park. So why don't we explain this word a little bit? Amusement park.
Okay, first of all, everyone probably knows the word park. You know, it's a public place. But in this case, an amusement park is a park of fun. Amusement means fun. And so it's usually a place that you go to and you pay a price, and they give you a ticket, and you can play all day long. So they have roller coasters and food and shows.
So probably the most famous or well-known amusement park is Disneyland. So that's an amusement park.
Exactly, and there's lots of fun things to do for people of all ages.
All right. And now the kid was so excited that the mom said, all right, you're going to give yourself a heart attack.
Okay, well, a heart attack is another serious health issue. We talked about throwing up before, is when your heart stops beating.
Right. Okay.
Right, so maybe something is stuck, or there's some problem with your heart, and there's no more blood going through your heart, and so it's a very, very serious issue. But in this case, she's saying you're so excited, you might hurt your heart.
Oh,
You're
you
going to
might-
have a heart attack.
You might hurt yourself because you're so excited.
Right, so she's exaggerating. That's not really going to happen, but she's trying to warn him.
All right. And now the father mentioned that they paid $35 for each of their tickets, and he thought it was a ripoff.
Okay, rip-off is a great phrase that we use in spoken English to describe something that's unfair. So a price that's unfair.
Okay. So you can maybe go to the market, right, and you ask how much a sweater is, and they'll tell you it's $100. You think that's a ripoff.
What a rip-off. I can buy a sweater for $20. So $100 is definitely a rip-off.
All right, so that's a ripoff. It was a ripoff. He's not very happy with how much money he paid.
Not at all.
All right, and now the kid was talking about the roller coaster that is the highest and fastest roller coaster. And he said that the speed was at more than 100 miles per hour. So what about this miles per hour?
Okay, this is very important. If you go to America, you'll see that the speeds on the road are all in miles per hour. So mile is a distance.
Okay.
And per hour means how many miles you can travel every hour. So in 1 hour, you can go 100 miles.
So we have the equivalent, right? We have like kilometers per hour.
Exactly. And so miles per hour, kilometers per hour, these are both called speeds.
Okay. And, well, this is called the imperial system, right? You use miles, you use inches and feet, whereas the kilometers or centimeters or meters, you would use the metric system, right?
Exactly, because the counting is done by meters, meters metric. So in this case, we're in America. We know that because the speed limit is 100 miles, or the speed here is 100 miles an hour.
All right.
Miles. We know that we're in America because the speed the boy is talking about is miles per hour.
Very good. And I think, yeah, you use it in North America, and that's pretty much it, right?
I think they use miles in Britain.
Really?
Yeah, I'm not positive. I'd have to check with my British friends.
All right. Okay, so that's all the words we have for language takeaway. Let's listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back to explain some phrases.
I'm so excited! We're finally here! Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is the best amusement park in the world!
All right, settle down now. You're going to give yourself a heart attack.
I can't believe they charge us $35 each. It seems like such a ripoff, don't you think? It's not like I'm gonna get on these things.
Whoa. Viper, that's the world's highest and fastest roller coaster! You go at more than 100 miles per hour. I want to go on that one. Can I, Mom, please? Can I?
Chris, I'm not sure you should get on that. It seems a bit too much for you, and we've just had breakfast 30 minutes ago. I don't think it's a good idea.
Come on, Mom. I can handle it. I promise I won't ask for anything else. Besides, it's not like I'm gonna throw up or anything.
Let him go, Carol. He'll be fine.
All right! Yeah, this is amazing! See how high up we're going? Whoa!
All right, we're back. So now why don't we start with 3 phrases that we have prepared for you today in Fluency Builder.
Fluency Builder.
Okay, this first phrase, Marco, is definitely a parent phrase. Okay, so this is something that you often hear parents saying to their children. They say, settle down now.
Settle down now.
Teachers
Settle
say
down.
this too, yeah.
All right, everyone, settle down.
That means if I'm really excited and I want to talk and I'm running around the room and my teacher says, settle down now, that means quiet down, go slowly, sit down, don't talk. It means calm down.
Calm down, yeah. So to calm down, to relax.
Exactly.
Settle down. All right, and now the next phrase is a very kids phrase, I think, right? That you would use on your parents. So if they say, no, you can't go to your friend's house, you, oh, come on, please.
Aw, Mom, come on.
All right, so what do you mean with that phrase? Come on, what?
So in this, we have a child who's asking something. He's saying, can you please let me do something? Please, come on. That means I'm encouraging you to change your mind or to let me do something. So please let me have my way.
Right. All right, so come on. And you don't only use it as a child or with your parents, right? You can encourage your friends to like, come on, come with me to the bar. Come on,
Let's go.
Please.
Come on.
All right.
You
Very
know you
good.
want to.
And our last phrase, I can handle it.
Okay, this is next to the phrase, "aw, come on." So the boy is trying to explain that he's big enough and old enough to go on a roller coaster, but his mother doesn't know. She says, "Oh, I don't know. You know, you're too young." And so he says, "I can handle it." That means I am big enough and old enough to go on a roller coaster. I won't have a problem.
So you can do it, right? Basically, I am good enough to do it. So for example, if I give you a very hard project, you can say, I can handle it. I can do it.
You could also say, "I'm very busy right now. I can't handle it.
Okay.
I can't do it. I'm sorry."
I can't do it. All right, very good. Interesting phrases there. They're very useful and very, very common in spoken English in North America and, well, a lot of places. So why don't we listen to the dialogue for the third time, and we'll be back.
I'm so excited! We're finally here! Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is the best amusement park in the world!
All right, settle down now. You're going to give yourself a heart attack.
I can't believe they charge us $35 each. Seems like such a ripoff, don't you think? It's not like I'm gonna get on these things.
Whoa. Viper, that's the world's highest and fastest roller coaster! You go at more than 100 miles per hour. I want to go on that one. Can I, Mom, please? Can I?
Chris, I'm not sure you should get on that. It seems a bit too much for you, and we've just had breakfast 30 minutes ago. I don't think it's a good idea.
Aw, come on, Mom. I can handle it. I promise I won't ask for anything else. Besides, it's not like I'm gonna throw up or anything.
Let him go, Carol. He'll be fine.
All right! Yeah, this is amazing! See how high up we're going? Whoa!
All right, so this amusement park, Magic Mountain, it actually exists in the United States, right?
It does, and Six Flags is really a brand, so there are many different parks, amusement parks called Six Flags, and each one has a different name. I'm not sure where Magic Mountain is, but...
That one's in California.
Yeah.
Then you have like Six Flags Greater America.
Yeah,
or
that's
something
my
like that.
Chicago
That's the
Six
one in
Flags.
Chicago?
Yeah.
So they're basically amusement parks, and they're famous because they have really great or intense roller coasters, right?
Exactly. So the one that we heard about in today's dialogue is called Viper, like the snake, and that one is at the amusement park in California you
Right.
mentioned. But the famous ride in Chicago is Batman the Ride.
Oh, really?
Because you sit on a seat, but there's no place for your feet, so your feet swing in the wind.
And it's very fast, and you don't actually sit on a train, right? The track is on top
On
of your
top.
head.
Exactly. So you're hanging.
So you
like
see
a bat.
everyone downstairs.
Yeah.
Or, well, not downstairs, down at the bottom.
And I hear they have a very serious problem with people losing their shoes.
I heard about this.
Yeah,
People
so-
wearing sandals and they just fly off.
Exactly. So I want to warn everyone, if you go to Chicago or you go to these upside down, these flipped roller coasters, you should bring real shoes, not
All right.
sandals.
Well, as we mentioned, it's in many languages, in the Romance languages, they're called Russian mountains. So I wonder, for our Russian listeners, do you have any intense or great roller coasters in Russia? I mean, if they come from Russia, they should have amazing roller coasters there, right?
That's right. Or do you have any idea why we call them Russian mountains in other languages? Please let us know. Our website is englishpod.com. We also welcome your questions and comments on other issues. So until next time, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Relax. Settle down. The act of overcharging. Rip off. Deal with. Handle. Vomit. Throw up. Entertainment. Amusement.
Let's try that faster.
Deal with. Handle. Relax. Settle down. Entertainment. Amusement. The act of overcharging. Rip-off. Vomit. Throw up.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Settle down. I feel I'm too young to settle down. Settle down. Please tell the children to settle down. Settle down. I wish I could settle down in a peaceful place. Rip off. That guy tried to rip us off. Rip off. This place is a total rip-off. There is nothing to do, and it cost so much to get here. Rip-off. That concert was a rip-off. She sang the same song 3 times, and her voice was horrible. Handle. Do you think you can handle such a big responsibility? Handle. I can't handle this pressure. I need to go out for a while. Handle. Please handle this box with extreme care. Throw up. Last night I saw a guy throw up so much that I felt sick too. Throw up. Children tend to throw up after eating when they move too much. Throw up. Please be careful not to throw up inside the perimeter. Amusement. I've never been to an amusement park in my life. Amusement. This must be the best amusement park I've ever seen. Amusement. I wish there were more amusement parks like this in my city.
Hello everyone and welcome back to English Pod. We have an upper intermediate lesson for you today. My name is Marco.
And my name is Catherine. So today we're talking about something that everyone who's ever lived away from home has felt before.
Right, and that's the word we're going to preview today. The word is homesick.
All right, so let's take a look at that in today's language preview.
Vocabulary preview.
All right, so homesick. If you feel homesick or you are homesick.
Well, yeah, you could say, I'm homesick right now, or are you feeling homesick? So it's a word that means I miss my home, I miss my family, I'm far away, or I haven't seen my family in a long time, and for some reason you just feel sad.
Okay, so it's a feeling. You feel a little bit depressed, you feel sad because you're homesick.
Right.
Okay, so this is what's happening today in our dialogue, so let's listen to it for the first time.
Tom, how are you? Hey, we missed you at the party last night. Are you okay?
I don't know. I didn't really feel like going out. I guess I'm feeling a little homesick.
Come on. We've been through this already. Look, I know the adjustment was hard when you first got here, but we agree that you were going to try and deal with it.
I was. It's just that the holidays are coming up and I won't be able to go home because I can't afford the airfare. I'm just longing for some of the comforts of home, like my mom's cooking and being around my family.
Yeah, it can get pretty lonely over the holidays. When I first got here, I'd get depressed and nostalgic for anything that reminded me of home. I almost let it get to me, but then I started going out, keeping myself busy, and before I knew it, I was used to it.
I see what you mean, but I'm still bummed out.
Okay, how does this sound? Let's get you suited up and hit the dance club tonight. I hear that an awesome DJ is playing, and there will be a lot of pretty single girls there.
You know, I could really go for that. You don't mind being my wingman for tonight?
Not at all. It'll be fun. It will be like a boys' night out. Well, kinda.
Great! I must warn you though, whatever happens, don't let me go on a drinking binge. Trust me, it's not a pretty picture.
Alrighty, we're back. So, yeah, I guess he's very homesick.
Very homesick. And his friend is really worried.
Yeah, but actually, I think this is common, right? To be homesick during the holidays, like Christmas, for example.
Oh, man. It's the worst during the holidays because you think of all the traditions and all the things that you normally do at home and you're not doing them.
So this is something we're going to talk more about a little bit later on, but let's take a look at some of the language that was used in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
This first one is key, right? So when you move away from home or when you move to a new place, you have a period of adjustment. So adjustment is kind of finding the right balance or doing something so that you can kind of feel comfortable.
Okay, so you have to adjust to your new life away from home.
Or your new environment. So many times people say, wow, moving to China must be a big adjustment. So it means there's so many differences that it must take a long time to feel comfortable again.
Okay. All right, so that's adjustment. What else do we have?
Well, we've got this next phrase that's really important, I think, but often gets overlooked. We say the comforts of home, right?
Comforts of home.
So comfort's pretty easy, right? Feeling comfortable. So you
Right.
have comfort. But the comforts of home are things that are different with every person. But those are things that you have at your home or your childhood home or your parents' home that make you feel good and feel happy.
So they're not only physical things or objects, right? They can be like your mom's cooking or maybe even just spending time with your family.
Right, or reading the newspaper with your dad or things that you're used to that you don't have anymore. And so those are the comforts of home. I could say, Marco, do you miss the comforts of home in Ecuador? I mean, do you have anything that's really...
Of course. I think one of the main things is actually not living in the city because I used to live in the valley, a little bit further away and kind of almost countryside. So that's one of the comforts of home that I miss.
Oh, you're making me nostalgic and I've never even been. All right, well, this is our next word, actually.
Right? Nostalgic.
Nostalgic. It's a feeling. I'm feeling nostalgic, or he's just really nostalgic. And so to be nostalgic is to kind of think about a time before or, think positively about something that you experienced before. So it's not usually a bad thing. It's never a bad thing. It's
Right.
Nostalgia is a good, warm, fond memory of something.
Of something from your past. So you start thinking of something from your past that maybe brings nice, warm feelings. Maybe a little bit sad because you miss those times, but it's usually thinking about the past.
Right. So I have nostalgia for my childhood. I loved, summers in Chicago when it was hot and the kids would play in the sprinkler and I had my dog and, it's a happy feeling.
Right. So nostalgia would be the noun and nostalgic would be the adjective.
Exactly.
All right. And our last word for today on Language Takeaway is bummed out.
Bummed out. Okay.
I'm bummed out.
We've got another feeling here, so we're all full of feelings today. Bummed out is a sad feeling. So to be bummed is kind of slang, and it means to be sad.
Okay, or disappointed.
Disappointed. So you come into the office, Marco, and you look a little tired. I said, "Are you okay? Are you bummed out about something?"
I can say, yeah, I lost my wallet last night, so I'm really bummed out.
Oh.
Or something like that.
So yeah, you feel bummed out when something bad or sad happens
Right.
to you.
All right, so why don't we move on now to a couple of different phrases on Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
All right, this first one is something that you often say to old friends or family. You know, when you're friends with someone, they go through periods of happiness and sadness. And so when someone's going through a down period again, you say, oh, we've been through this already.
We've been through this already.
Or, you know, when you're giving someone advice and they never take your advice, you say, listen, we've been through this already. You should know by now that and then, you know, whatever the advice
So
is.
this has happened before, or we have experienced this before, or we already solved this problem or situation.
Right. You could imagine two bank robbers who are going over their plan for the 10th time, and then the one says to the other, hey, we've been through this already. You should know the plan by now.
Exactly. All right, so we've been through this already. They were talking about the adjustments and everything. And then what other phrase did they use?
Well, the next couple of phrases have to do with the friend's suggestions, because she has a lot of ideas to cheer her friend up, the depressed one. And the first thing she says is, hey, let's hit the dance club.
Okay, let's hit the dance club, or let's hit the dance floor tonight.
All right, so hit in this case doesn't mean like hit.
Right.
Doesn't mean you're punching someone. It means to go to or to do.
All right, so we can say, let's go to the dance club tonight. Let's hit the dance club.
Exactly. It doesn't have to be a dance club, but let's hit that concert tonight. Yeah, I really want to go there.
Okay, so you can hit pretty much any place, right?
Exactly. And that this is a very kind of spoken language, so you wouldn't say this in your essays, but it's a good way to talk about plans with friends.
All right. And our next word actually is kind of interesting because it's very colloquial, and it's a wingman. I can be your wingman tonight.
So wingman, you have to think about wing meaning side, not like a bird's wing. So a wing means side, and a wingman is a guy who will go with you to a bar or a club to kind of help you find a date or a girl or someone to talk to.
Okay, so this person, this wingman, usually keeps you company and helps you decide maybe what girl to talk to, or maybe even introduces you to someone.
Right.
At a club or at a restaurant or bar or whatever.
And, you know, the key is that people don't like to go alone to bars, right? Because you feel sad and then you look weird because you're all alone. And the same is true for girls. And so if a guy wants to go to a bar and he sees two girls, well, he has to have a friend to talk to the other girl.
Right.
So a wingman also helps in that sense. He helps balance things.
All right, so there's a whole science behind the wingman.
Yeah, I'm sure if you look it up on Wikipedia, you'll find 10 pages of information.
All right, so since they are going out tonight, they said it could be boys' night out.
Okay, so this is another phrase you hear all the time, especially among young people. Boys' night out and girls' night out. And so, you know, sometimes you spend a lot of time with your husband or your wife or your boyfriend or your girlfriend, and you just want to have some time with your friends.
Right.
And so you call this girls' night. For me, girls' night out, you just go out and you do girl things. Guys' night out, you do other things.
Okay.
And so in this case,
girls only or guys only. Boys' night out is only guys.
Exactly. And that's why this is funny, because it's the girl who says, hey, let's have boys' night out. And she's not really a boy.
All right, great. And, well, he agreed to go out and everything, but he warned her about him going on a drinking binge.
Okay, now this is important. A lot of people who are depressed or sad, when they drink a lot. And so binge means to do something in excess, to do it too much.
Okay, so a drinking binge would be drinking alcohol in excess, too much.
Too much, so getting drunk right away.
Okay.
And it's not healthy, and we do not condone it. No.
Right, exactly. Very good. So some very interesting phrases in this dialogue today. I think we should listen to it one more time, and we'll be right back.
Tom, how are you? Hey, we missed you at the party last night. Are you okay?
I don't know. I didn't really feel like going out. I guess I'm feeling a little homesick.
Come on. We've been through this already. Look, I know the adjustment was hard when you first got here, but we agreed that you were going to try and deal with it.
I was. It's just that the holidays are coming up and I won't be able to go home because I can't afford the airfare. I'm just longing for some of the comforts of home, like my mom's cooking and being around my family.
Yeah, it can get pretty lonely over the holidays. When I first got here, I'd get depressed and nostalgic for anything that reminded me of home. I almost let it get to me, but then I started going out, keeping myself busy, and before I knew it, I was used to it.
I see what you mean, but I'm still bummed out.
Okay, how does this sound? Let's get you suited up and hit the dance club tonight. I hear that an awesome DJ is playing, and there will be a lot of pretty single girls there.
You know, I could really go for that. You don't mind being my wingman for tonight?
Not at all. It'll be fun. It will be like a boys' night out. Well, kinda.
Great! I must warn you though, whatever happens, don't let me go on a drinking binge. Trust me, it's not a pretty picture.
All right, we're back. So, speaking of homesick and holidays, do you actually get very depressed or homesick during Christmas?
I do. Well, my family has a lot of Christmas traditions that are just really kind of wonderful, and we do them every single year. And so the first time I spent Christmas away, I was living in Italy, and it was kind of similar. But then the second time was when I was living in China. And China was just not the same. No
Right.
oven, so no Christmas cookies. And no granny who, pours vodka and eats meatballs. And like my mom not running around the kitchen. You feel lonely. And then all of a sudden you get a phone call. And it's the entire family. And they're all together eating, having an
Right.
amazing Christmas. And they think it's going to help you feel less homesick, but it makes you feel more homesick. So you definitely have nostalgia for those days during the holidays. But what about you?
I rarely get homesick, but yeah, sometimes during Christmas or New Year's. New Year's, we usually have more unique traditions in Ecuador. So it's very fun. The family gets together, we dance, we eat. So, but yeah, I've been away from home so long that I rarely get homesick anymore. But it's great to go back and spend time with the family. So after my visit to Ecuador, then I might get homesick for a little while, but then it
Then
goes
it
away.
passes.
Yeah.
Well, you guys should tell us. Do you ever feel homesick? And if you do, what do you feel homesick about? What do you miss?
Maybe mom's cooking, maybe family, maybe the comforts of home.
The rain had been falling for 3 days without pause. The cobblestone streets of the town glistened like mirrors, and the rooftops dripped with heavy beads of water. Most people hurried along with umbrellas or stayed indoors by the fire, but at the far end of a quiet alley sat a girl on a wooden stool, her knees tucked beneath her chin. Her name was Lila. She was small for her age, with tangled black hair that often fell across her eyes and clothes patched more times than she could count. A battered satchel lay at her side, filled with brushes and tiny jars of paint she had collected over the years. She could not afford canvases, so she painted on scraps of wood, broken tiles, even the side of abandoned crates. But what set Lila apart from every other child in town was this: the things she painted sometimes came alive. It had started when she was 7. She had drawn a bird with charcoal on the wall of her bedroom, and as she stared at it, the bird had tilted its head, ruffled its feathers, and let out the faintest chirp before fading back into stillness. Lila never told her parents. They were too busy worrying about food, rent, and keeping warm through winter. But the secret lived inside her like a flame, and the older she grew, the brighter it burned. Now she was 12, and whenever she painted with true feeling, when her heart ached or her soul longed for something, her creations shimmered for a few brief moments as if they had borrowed life from her imagination. On this rainy afternoon, Lila sat hunched over a cracked wooden board she had scavenged from the trash. She dipped her brush into a jar of deep blue and painted the sky she wished she could see. Wide, clear, endless. As her brush moved, she whispered softly, "If only the clouds would part." When she lifted the brush, the painted sky shimmered. For a heartbeat, the rain seemed to slow. The clouds above trembled, and a sliver of sunlight peeked through. But only for a moment. Then the shimmer faded, and the board was just a board again. Leela sighed. She always wanted the magic to last, but it never did. A voice interrupted her thoughts. "That's beautiful." Lila jumped, nearly spilling her paints. A boy about her age stood at the mouth of the alley, his blonde hair plastered to his forehead from the rain. He wore a neat coat and polished boots, far nicer than anything she had ever owned. Embarrassed, Lila hugged the board to her chest. It's nothing. Just a painting. The boy tilted his head. No, it's more than that. I saw the sky change. You made it happen, didn't you? Lila's heart thudded. Nobody had ever noticed before. You must be mistaken, she said quickly, stuffing her brushes into the satchel. Go home. But the boy didn't leave. Instead, he stepped closer, lowering his voice. I'm Thomas. My father owns the bakery near the square. I won't tell anyone, but can you do it again? Lila hesitated. She should refuse. The magic was hers alone, fragile and private. Yet something in Tomas's eyes, not greed, not mockery, but wonder, made her soften. She dipped her brush again, this time into yellow, and painted a single flower onto the wet stone wall. The petals shimmered gold. For a few seconds the blossom trembled as though touched by wind. Then it faded. Tomas gasped. That's incredible. You're like... He searched for the right word. Like a magician with colors. Lila shook her head. No, it's not real. It never lasts. But Thomas smiled. Even a moment of magic is better than none. From that day, Thomas began visiting her in the alley. He brought scraps of bread from the bakery, sometimes even sweet buns still warm from the oven. In return, Lila showed him her world of paints, where she painted birds that fluttered, stars that twinkled, waves that rolled. Each time, the shimmer was brief, but real enough to make Tomas laugh in amazement. For the first time in her life, Lila did not feel alone, but not everyone shared Thomas's joy. One evening, as the sun set behind the rain clouds, the mayor of a town happened to pass through the square. He was a large man with sharp eyes and a cloak that dragged across the ground. He prided himself on order, on keeping the town neat and respectable. So when he noticed two children crouched in an alley, laughing and painting on broken boards, his curiosity turned to suspicion. What is this nonsense? He barked, striding toward them. Tomas leapt to his feet, stammering, It's nothing, sir. Just drawings. But Lila froze. The brush slipped from her fingers. On the wall behind her shimmered her latest creation, a painted horse, rearing on its hind legs. The shimmer had not yet faded, and for one terrifying instant, the horse seemed alive. The mayor's eyes widened. He seized Lila's arm. Witchcraft, he growled. Sorcery. Lila's chest constricted. No, it's just paint. But the mayor's grip tightened. You will come with me. This kind of trickery cannot be allowed in my town. Thomas tried to protest, but the mayor shoved him aside. Lila was dragged through the streets as people turned to stare. Her satchel spilled open, brushes and paints clattering onto the stones, but she could not break free. That night, she was locked in a cold storeroom beneath the mayor's hall. The door clanged shut, leaving her in darkness. For hours she sat trembling. Was she truly cursed? Was her gift a danger? Tears slid down her cheeks. For the first time, she wished she had never touched a brush. But at midnight, a soft scratching sound woke her. From the shadows on the wall, a shape emerged. A bird painted in charcoal, wings stretching. It glowed faintly, then hopped down beside her. Lila gasped. You're one of mine. The bird tilted its head, as if nodding. Then it fluttered toward the locked door. Hope sparked in Lila's chest. She grabbed a piece of wood lying in the corner, dipped her finger into the last smear of paint on her sleeve, and drew quickly. A key, golden and bright. She focused all her longing, all her desperation into the lines. The key shimmered, then dropped into her palm. Her hands shook. as she slid it into the lock. With a soft click, the door opened. The painted bird flapped its wings once more, then faded into nothing. Lila stepped into the hallway, heart racing. She ran through the silent building out into the night. The rain had stopped at last, and the moon shone through tattered clouds. She ran straight to the bakery. Tomas was waiting, as though he had known she would come. His eyes widened when he saw her. "You escaped." Lila held up the fading golden key. "My painting saved me." Tomas looked at her with awe. "Then your gift is not a curse. It's a miracle." But Lila shook her head. "The mayor won't see it that way. He'll come for me again. I can't stay." Thomas clenched his fists. "Then I'll go with you." She stared at him. "You'd leave your home. Your family?" His eyes softened. "What is a home without wonder? Without dreams?" For the first time in days, Lila smiled. They left the town before dawn, walking along the muddy road with only the moon to guide them. Days turned into weeks as they traveled from village to village. At first, people were wary of the strange girl with her paints. But when Lila painted their wishes, a lost lamb, a missing ring, a fading flower, and her creations flickered into life, their fear turned to gratitude. Word spread of the girl who painted dreams, yet the gift was not without cost. Each painting left her weaker, her hands trembling, her vision blurred. Sometimes she collapsed after giving too much of herself. Tomas carried her brushes, reminding her to rest, but Lila worried. One night, by the fire, she whispered, "What if one day the magic takes everything from me?" Tomas looked into her tired eyes. "Then I'll still be here. Because even if the paintings fade, you remain, and you are enough." His words filled her with warmth, deeper than any fire. But months later, they reached a great city where rumors of her gift had already arrived. Crowds gathered to see her work. Nobles begged for paintings, offering gold and jewels. But Lila noticed something strange. The more greed filled the requests, the weaker her magic became. The shimmer lasted only a breath, sometimes not at all. One evening, the king himself summoned her to the palace. He sat on a throne of marble, surrounded by guards and courtiers. His eyes gleamed as he said, "Paint me a future where my kingdom never falls." Lila froze. I don't think I can." The king's smile darkened. "You will." She lifted her brush with trembling hands, but no matter how hard she tried, no image formed. Her heart was empty of such greed. The courtiers began to whisper. The king's face twisted with anger. "You are a fraud," he thundered. "Take her away." Guards seized her. Tomas shouted, struggling to reach her. But in that desperate moment, Lila understood. Her gift was never meant for power or wealth or vanity. It was meant for hope, for kindness, for love. She dropped the brush and shouted with all her strength, "Dreams are not chains to bind the future. They are wings to lift the present." Her words echoed through the hall. And then something extraordinary happened. The walls of the palace shimmered. Paintings bloomed across the marble. Stars, rivers, forests, skies. They were not hers alone, but drawn from every dream she had ever sparked in others. Children she had helped, families she had comforted, strangers she had inspired. Their collective hope poured into the palace, filling it with light. The guards froze, their anger melting into awe. The courtiers wept. Even the king lowered his gaze, his pride crumbling before the flood of dreams. When the shimmer faded, Leela stood trembling but free. She turned to Thomas, who caught her in his arms. Together they left the palace. Years later, storytellers would speak of the girl who painted dreams. Some said she vanished into the stars. Others claimed she still wandered the world with her brushes, bringing hope wherever she went. But Thomas, who walked beside her all his life, knew the truth. Her magic was not in the paint, nor the brush, nor even the shimmering moments. It was in her heart, the courage to believe that even a fleeting dream could change the world. And though her paintings always faded, the hope they awakened never did.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have a very painful lesson for you.
That's right. Today we're going to go to one of the worst places for me. We're going to go to the dentist.
Okay, so the person in this dialogue has a pain in their mouth, in the tooth area. So let's take a listen to this dialogue, and when we come back, we'll be talking a little bit more about it.
What seems to be the problem?
I have a really bad toothache. My cheek is swollen and I can't eat anything.
Let's have a look. This doesn't look too good. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth. It's pressing against your molars, and that's one of the reasons you're experiencing so much pain.
When you pull my tooth, will you also have to extract the nerve and the root?
First, we will take some x-rays and see what we're dealing with. I also noticed a small cavity up front here, so you are going to need a filling.
I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth 3 times a day.
It could be that, or maybe you are eating too many sweets. In any case, I'll administer an anesthetic and you won't feel a thing.
All right, we're back, and obviously we're going to take a look at a lot of vocab related to going to the dentist and experiencing a little bit of pain. So let's take a look at that in Language Takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, first up in Language Takeaway today, we have the root of the problem. It's a toothache.
That's right, we have a really bad toothache.
Okay, well, ache means pain or soreness, and tooth is your tooth. So I could say, oh gosh, I have a really bad toothache.
That's right, that means your tooth or your teeth hurt. And basically, you can combine it like a stomach ache or headache. Backache.
That's right. So usually when you have a toothache, you experience different symptoms. Different things happen to you. What's one of these things, Marco?
Well, in this case, the girl had a swollen cheek. Her cheek is swollen.
Ouch. So the cheek is the side of the face. It's usually where it's a little bit pink. And when your cheek is swollen, it looks puffy. It looks bigger than normal.
That's right. So, for example, sometimes you fall and you hurt your finger and it'll get fat, it'll get puffy, as you say. It's swollen.
That's right. So anything can be swollen, really. When you hit your toe on something hard and your toe later gets bigger, it's swollen.
That's right. So obviously her cheek is swollen and she has a toothache because apparently her wisdom teeth or her wisdom tooth is coming out.
All right, so wisdom teeth are special teeth. I don't know if they actually have anything to do with wisdom, which means being smart.
To be wise.
But wisdom teeth are those 4 teeth in the very, very, very back of your mouth.
That's right. So these are the last teeth that come in or the last teeth that grow in your mouth. So I think usually you're 18 or 20 when they come in.
That's right. A lot of people experience these when they're older. Maybe that's why they call them wisdom teeth, because you're older and you're wiser. I had them when I was about 14, 13.
Oh, really?
So I was very young. But these come in the very back. They're the furthest away from your lips.
Okay, very good. So when they come in, sometimes there's not enough space, and so they start to press against the other teeth in your mouth, specifically against your molars.
So molars are other teeth. These are also in the back of your mouth. You can tell which ones are molars, I believe, because they're flat on top. They look like a little square.
Those are the ones that you use to chew your
Yeah.
food with, mostly.
Exactly. They're not pointy like your front teeth. And so molars are in the back of your mouth. Wisdom teeth are in the very back of your mouth. And molars can be very sore when the wisdom teeth push against them. And so in this case, you'll have to take your teeth out, or the dentist will take your teeth out. But what's something we say when we talk about taking the whole tooth out?
Well, in this case, he's going to extract the tooth, but also he's going to extract the nerve and the root.
Okay, so nerves are parts of our bodies. We can't see them, but they help us feel things. So maybe when someone hits me, the nerves in my arm, they tell my brain that it hurts. Well, we also have nerves in our teeth, and that's what we're talking about here. But what's this other thing? You talked about the nerve and
the root. It's very similar to a plant, for example. You consider that your teeth are like plants, and they have little roots that go into your gums. And this is how basically you get teeth stay alive. They are fed basically by your body.
All right, so root, like with a tree or a plant, is the very bottom of something. And in this case, to extract means to take out or to take away. So the dentist will have to extract the root and the nerve. So that sounds pretty painful.
It's painful, but they have to do it, right?
So when the dentist has to extract the tooth, in this case the nerve and the root and everything, in order for you not to feel it, he gives you special drugs. What are these drugs called?
These are called anesthetics.
Okay, so most people, when they are having major surgery, they get anesthetics so that they can't feel anything. Remember, we were just talking about nerves. Well, anesthetics make it so that you can't feel things through your nerves.
That's right. So obviously you don't want to feel the pain when somebody's pulling that tooth out of your mouth, so you get an anesthetic, and then you don't really feel anything. You kind of feel something, but you don't really feel pain.
Exactly. So anesthetic basically makes you numb.
Numb, that's right. That's the word, numb. Okay, so we've taken a look at a lot of vocab, molars, wisdom teeth, etc. Why don't we listen to the dialogue again, and we'll be back in a bit with Fluency Builder.
What seems to be the problem?
I have a really bad toothache. My cheek is swollen and I can't eat anything.
Let's have a look. This doesn't look too good. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth. It's pressing against your molars, and that's one of the reasons you're experiencing so much pain.
When you pull my tooth, will you also have to extract the nerve and the root?
First, we will take some x-rays and see what we're dealing with. I also noticed a small cavity up front here, so you are going to need a filling.
I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth 3 times a day.
It could be that, or maybe you are eating too many sweets. In any case, I'll administer an anesthetic and you won't feel a thing.
All right, so the topic of today's lesson is toothache, but it's also basically about learning that you will have to have your tooth taken out. So to say this, we say to pull out a tooth.
Okay, so that's what the dentist said. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth.
Not good news.
Okay, so to pull out means to extract.
So just remember here, this is a phrase that has pull out. Out would be the preposition here. We wouldn't say pull off or pull at. We'd say pull out.
Like, for example, you can pull out a hair or your hair.
Exactly.
Okay. So we're pulling out the wisdom tooth, and the dentist first wants to take some x-rays to see what we're dealing with.
Okay, so to deal with something means to work on it or to have something to do with. And so in this case, the dentist wants to know, is this serious? What are we dealing with here?
That's right.
And so he's trying to judge the situation.
So maybe what would be another scenario or another situation where you would say, I have to see what we're dealing with?
Well, in the case of the weather and the newsmen who report about the weather, maybe they see that a storm is coming, but they have to look at the radars and the computer screens to see what they're dealing with. Is it a serious storm or is it a very weak storm? They have to evaluate.
That's right. Okay, very good. And so we're going to see what we're dealing with.
And then the girl, I think, knows that she hasn't really taken good care of her teeth. And so she says, I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth.
So that's what you get, or that's what I get. Here, the pronoun changes I, you, he. That's what I get for not taking care of myself. This means it's my fault.
I deserved it.
I deserve this thing. So I could say, Marco, that's what you get for not doing your homework. You got a bad grade on your test.
That's right. So it's basically a way of saying that's what you deserve. That's the consequence for your actions.
Exactly.
Okay. And what about our last phrase?
Well, this is something that I hate to hear from doctors and dentists because usually it's a lie. A dentist will say before he gives you a shot or before he takes your tooth out, you won't feel a thing.
That's right. So he's basically saying you're not going to feel any pain. But why do we say you won't feel a thing instead of you won't feel anything?
It's just a set phrase. It's something we say. I would remember it like this because it's more likely to be said in this way. You won't feel a thing. I think it basically means not even one little thing. You're not going to feel that. So,
Right.
For example, I'm about to fix someone's back, you know, when you have to pull them and make their back feel better. I say, you won't feel a thing. And you
Right.
fix their back.
Okay. So you won't feel a thing or you won't feel anything. Both are correct, but I think it's more common to hear you won't feel a thing. Okay, so why don't we go back? Let's take one last look at our dialogue and we'll be back in a bit.
What seems to be the problem?
I have a really bad toothache. My cheek is swollen and I can't eat anything.
Let's have a look. This doesn't look too good. I think we may have to pull out your wisdom tooth. It's pressing against your molars, and that's one of the reasons you're experiencing so much pain.
When you pull my tooth, will you also have to extract the nerve and the root?
First, we will take some x-rays and see what we're dealing with. I also noticed a small cavity up front here, so you are going to need a filling.
I guess that's what I get for not flossing or brushing my teeth 3 times a day.
It could be that, or maybe you are eating too many sweets. In any case, I'll administer an anesthetic and you won't feel a thing.
All right, so talking about dentists and talking about wisdom teeth, you say that you still have all 4 wisdom teeth.
I do. They're all still back there.
So you didn't need to have them taken out or pulled.
No, as my dentist likes to say, I have a big mouth, which in English has 2 meanings. A big mouth is not just a large mouth, but also it means you like to talk a lot.
Right. So, but did you ever have braces, for example, when you were a kid?
Yes.
Oh, you had braces.
I had a retainer, which is a device that you, it looks like a line across your teeth, and you put it in usually at night, but sometimes during the day, and it makes some space in your mouth. But I also had braces after that. I hated braces. I had them for 2 years.
Why did you hate braces?
Because they're uncomfortable. Well, they don't look very good, especially when you're a 13-year-old girl and you want to look cute and you have this big metal thing in your mouth.
That's right.
Did you have braces?
No, I never had braces. Actually, it was kind of, for a while, I think a lot of people thought it was cool to have braces.
I did not grow up where you grew up.
Really?
It was not cool where I grew up.
I don't know. I think, or it gets to a point where in certain parts, I guess my school was filled with kids that had braces. So I guess everyone just had really bad teeth. So obviously the people that didn't have braces kind of were left aside. So you're like, oh, I want braces. I want to be part of the group.
Kind of like sometimes I wish I had glasses, but because everyone I know has glasses.
Really?
But, yeah.
If you have good vision, though.
Yeah, it sucks to be perfect, right?
Well, this is a really interesting topic, and going to the dentist is always complicated. Maybe some of our listeners are dentists themselves, or they have some stories that they can share with us.
Please let us know what you're thinking and share your dentist stories with us on EnglishPod.com. We'll be waiting for you there.
All right, we'll see you guys then.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Increase in size with liquid or internal pressure. Swollen. 1 of 4 rearmost molars on each side of both jaws. Wisdom tooth. Have the experience of. Undergo. Feel. To experience. That is what one deserves for. That is what one gets for. To clean with a brush. To brush. To give or apply as a remedy or relief. To administer.
Let's try that faster.
Increase in size with liquid or internal pressure. Swollen. That is what one deserves for. That is what one gets for. One of 4 rearmost molars on each side of both jaws. Wisdom tooth. To give or apply as a remedy or relief. To administer. To clean with a brush. To brush. Have the experience of. Undergo. Feel. To experience.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Swollen. I got a mosquito bite on my arm, and now it's swollen. Swollen. Tim's leg is swollen from the infection. Swollen. Someone punched him yesterday, so his lip is slightly swollen. Wisdom tooth. I need to go to the dentist to get my wisdom teeth removed. Wisdom tooth. My wisdom tooth is really annoying me. I keep on biting the inside of my cheek. Wisdom tooth. She couldn't eat for a few days after the dentist pulled her wisdom teeth. To experience. I have been experiencing really bad headaches lately. To experience. Your chair is broken. That must be the reason why you have been experiencing so much discomfort. To experience. To experience love is a wonderful thing. To experience. I'm falling asleep at my desk. I guess that's what I get for staying up to watch the World Cup. To experience. I just bought this purse yesterday, and it's already broken. That's what you get for buying something so cheap. To experience. I failed my math exam. That's what I get for goofing off the entire semester. It is important to brush your teeth at least 2 times a day. She is sitting in front of the mirror, brushing her hair. He brushed the breadcrumbs off the table. To administer. The doctor administered some painkillers to me after my operation. To administer. The governor administers the law in this area. To administer. It is important for the government to administer justice.